Salut, it's Bella.
And me.
Okay, you're never gonna stop this, are you?
No.
Welcome to another Speedbolt. I'm so grateful to have you here.
Thanks.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.
So this is another mill. I've recently built a windmill, and now I'm building a water mill.
What's next? A pepper mill? Got him.
Wow. Yeah, so I had originally planned a different build. It's a townhouse that I've now finished that townhouse.
Secretly been working on it. I've already seen it.
That was supposed to be out this week, and then Harry and Felixandra released the living room.
And obviously that takes priority.
Yeah,
So-
naturally I had to drop everything, and then I've built this huge water mill in a 64 by 64 lot, which took me, I think, 16 hours. But yeah, that's what you gotta do.
You know what I could do in 16 hours with my life?
Sleep?
You know how much sleep I could get in 16 hours?
Yeah, 16 hours worth of sleep.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy amount of sleep.
Yeah, that's
nights.
what I did instead. So you can see me building just the very beginning of the landscaping here, and then I've cut a lot of this out because this video is long AF as it is. So I've cut out a lot of the landscaping and just left in some snippets so you could see what I was doing, how I did it, and but you wouldn't have to watch the whole thing. So you saw that was a cut, and now this is way more finished than it was before.
I always find it so funny how it looks super janky, and then like one cut later it's like done. It's like one of those tutorials on how to draw, and they're like, well, first you make a circle, and then basically the panda is just done.
Yeah, isn't that draw the rest of the film all? Isn't that a subreddit?
Yes, maybe. I never use Reddit, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Okay, so I've incorporated a lot of, oh my god, what are they called? Cataratas.
What?
That's Spanish. Catarata.
What are you talking about?
What? Waterfall.
Okay. Alright, that was a weird little side.
So that's your piece of knowledge for the day.
This is not going great.
Just all confused. Waterfall is catarata in Spanish.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So I've incorporated a lot of those because I thought for a mill to work, a water mill to work, there would need to be
water.
Yeah, not only water though, but moving water.
Right.
Now that's the problem. There's no such thing as buildable moving water in The Sims.
See, that's what, okay, hold on. I need to intersect. I was thinking about this. Do you know how last time, three times ago, we were talking about the windmill, how they used it to move water, to pump water?
Oh, yeah.
How about you build a windmill that pumps the water into a water mill, which then in turn moves the windmill.
Man, I don't know if you really got this whole.
I got it against the second law of thermodynamics.
So there's no way to really build moving water in The Sims, right? So this is a pool, obviously, and that wouldn't move. So I thought, how else would we get this water to move if not just
we play
on one
Minecraft.
level? We can just move it from the top of a hill to the bottom.
Right.
Because that
is actually called an overshot windmill.
All right. Windmill?
Sorry, water mill.
Okay.
Water wheel.
So that's what I did. And then I obviously looked at some reference pictures, and I saw a lot of those type of mills that have, that's why I placed this little bridge there, some kind of transportation way, like kind of like an aqueduct, to get the water on top of the mill so it would move the mill while falling down on the wheel, right?
Gravity style.
I guess. So that's why I've used this debug bridge there. So it's supposed to transport the water from the top of the hill
but you can't
onto
actually
the
put
wheel.
water onto the wheel, can you?
No, I mean this is definitely a decommissioned mill.
Okay, right, sure.
So I'm gonna start building the wheel in a second, which I don't know, was kind of complicated, involved a lot of maths. So I've also cut a lot of it out just so I just left enough in so you could see how I did it. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure the way I built this would actually work in real life.
So, did you know that there are actually basically 3 types of water wheels? I'm gonna keep saying wind, I can already tell. There's probably more, but back then they actually used to build them horizontally.
What is back then? Like when did they build
a while ago, when they still didn't know how to do anything.
Like a year?
Yeah, pretty much. No, like medieval times.
Okay.
They sometimes built them horizontally, which is colossally stupid.
I don't understand how that would work.
Yeah, they would just I don't.
Doesn't it stop itself from moving? Like if the whole thing is submerged, the whole wheel?
Yeah, no, I don't think the whole thing is submerged. I think you still just submerge the one part into the moving water, but it's like horizontal. It doesn't really make any sense. I also didn't quite get why you would do that, because that's very ineffective, which it was very inefficient, so they eventually stopped.
So wait a second, you can see me starting to build the wheel here. I've just used this tire from Eco Lifestyle. I've sized it up just so I would have some kind of way to see what, like a template basically, just so I would have something that is actually round in the end. So I've just put it back in and then taken the tire out to do it, and then check with the tire back in if it's actually round. So all the pieces are kind of the same length. Okay, you may go on.
That was basically it. They also usually there are two vertical ways to build one. One of them is the overshot water wheel, which is what we're seeing right now, where it basically uses the gravity of the water to spin the wheel. And then there's the undershot one, which basically just dips the whole wheel into a moving stream, and that moves the wheel. I think both of which are quite similar in the efficiency. I'm not actually 100% sure about that, so don't quote me. But it really depends on your topography and how...
I mean, I guess it depends on how fast the water is actually moving, if it's not the gravity-powered one, but the stream current-powered one.
Yeah, also you don't want to be pumping water up, so if you just have a moving stream, you're going to use the undershot one, because it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And from what I can tell, is that they were actually used for a lot of different things. And I also think they're quite a lot older than the windmill, and used for way different things, which I don't quite understand, because the concept is just basically the exact same. You're just kind of spinning something, and you could do
you have nature spinning something.
Right, but you could do a lot of things with that. But for the windmill, they were basically just like, hey, let's pump some water, or let's grind some grains, and that was basically the size of it. And now with the water windmill, this is really old. It's like 4,000 before Christ or something.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes.
Didn't you say medieval times?
Well, that's when they built them horizontally.
Oh.
For some reason.
Wait, so they've built the vertical ones before, then they started building them horizontally?
Basically, there was always these 2 ways to do it, I think. That's from what I've gathered with very subpar research. But there are always these 2 ways to do it. They always already had them horizontally, but just during the medieval times, at some point, they figured out how inefficient that was.
They figured that out.
And they switched to vertical.
That's nice.
And they're really big back then in Rome and in Greece. That was like way back when. But then eventually, like, I think yes. Sorry.
What did they power with it?
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? They didn't have electrical power back then. They wouldn't have lamps or stuff like that.
I mean, they had lamps.
They did have lamps, but not electrical lamps. Basically, a lot of them also were, of course, to grind literally anything.
Okay, whatever would need grinding at the time.
And some of them were also used, I don't know if this was back then, but some of them were also used to cut the bark off trees.
Oh, interesting.
Well, basically, they just used it for anything.
How would that work?
Well, I don't know. The whole construction, basically, you have something spinning, that's a motor, and you could put anything on that needs some kind of kinetic force exerted upon. So
Yeah, I
it really
guess.
doesn't matter what you do with it. In ancient China, it wasn't that ancient. It was like 1 year after Christ was born.
Yeah, I mean, China has existed for so
Exactly.
incredibly long.
They used it for furnaces, so they would hook up these bellows is what they're called, to the furnace, and that would eventually power these huge constructed furnaces of like melting iron and whatnot. And some guy in I think like 31 AD was using a water mill to move his armillary sphere.
No, what's that?
So an armillary sphere, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It might be armillary sphere. No, that
A
doesn't make
little
any sense.
sassy sphere.
Basically, I don't know if they're actually still around, but they're basically like pretty big mechanical spheres that show the celestial bodies and their relative position to each other,
Nice.
and they would have to be powered in order for them, of course, to move. And back then they're usually centered around the Earth, but then also they kind of started making them heliocentrical. So yeah, basically he used a water wheel for some reason to power his armillary sphere.
Imagine you're him and you have this amazing idea, and then in the future you're just quoted as some guy.
Yeah, I have no idea what his name is. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. So yeah, no, so it was used rather creatively, as opposed to the windmill, which was just kind of for power.
Oh, come on.
No,
Don't bash my windmill.
No, I'm not bashing your windmill. I'm bashing every windmill. Yeah, but then during like still in the 19th century, and even the beginning of the 20th century, I think water mills were like 40% of the energy production in the US. So
That's pretty amazing.
that's mostly what
Props
it was used for.
to the watermills of this world. Okay, don't look at me like that.
Okay.
So, opposed to my windmill build, I wanted this to be renovated in kind of a modern way. I'm saying kind of, it's very modern. You've probably seen this already, but I thought they'd just probably left the original structure and that wood and stuff of the mill house. I'm just
The
calling
Simpsons.
it that. And then they had put in all these modern upgrades, and the inside is very modern as well, obviously because they wanted to use all the collaborative packs of Felix and Harry. So that's why I did that, and I think it looks pretty cool. I wanted this wheel to be a very prominent feature. That was kind of the whole point of this. So that's why I started this whole house with the window from the living room window looking out at the wheel, which I thought was really cool. I would like to look at that every time I sit on my couch.
All right.
And what I'm building here is actually usable. So I've made sure to use stones that have no footprint, so your Sims can still walk through them. It'll look maybe a tiny bit odd because their ankles are just gonna be hidden in the stone.
Great.
But I thought this was kind of cute, a little, oh yeah, there you can see me playtest. A usable little stone platform for your Sims to sunbath from, and then I'm also putting a little jump tower thingy, the one that came with Get Together, on there so they can also make backflips, as I think you might have seen in the intro. Not sure yet, haven't done the intro yet, but you might have seen it in the intro.
Yeah, nice. I dig it. It's large.
It is large. It's really, really big.
So
Also, this is probably the only time I'm ever gonna use that telescope, and I know everyone and their mother has complained about this, but why is that thing so freaking huge? It's enormous.
Is it
You're
really?
a physicist. Tell me something.
I'm not a physicist.
You are.
No.
You're a physicist in training. Tell me, why is that so big?
Why are telescopes so large?
Yeah.
They usually are, you know. Telescopes are big.
Okay,
'Cause
then
it's-
I'm asking the Sims team, why can't I have like handheld
Okay.
size, like little balcony type of telescope?
Okay, so basically, telescopes. There are. Okay, we didn't. I didn't. I know nothing about telescopes. First of all,
How?
but I
You're studying this.
I'm not at all. You think we learn about telescopes in our free time? I don't think so. So basically, there are two types of telescopes. You know how you sometimes see the like very straight telescopes that just kind of
Yeah.
look like a long pipe.
Yeah, that's the one I want.
They don't have that in The Sims.
No.
That sucks. Well, and then there are like mirror telescopes where you're looking from the side, and they can be a lot shorter.
Like the Hubble one.
You don't really look into the side of the Hubble Space Telescope, but yeah, basically like that one. They kind of like that, and but obviously they're optical, so you gotta have the right spacing between the lenses and the mirrors and whatnot. So you actually need that space. It's not digital.
Okay. I'm just really glad I got to put this in somewhere because I think it's kind of cool to have it. So I don't know if you've seen it. It was just a tiny
No,
2
yeah,
second
no, I saw
bit,
that
but
thing, yeah.
I've put it in there with.
I also like
the
how
ones.
it looks super like designed, like it looks like a toy kind of.
Yeah, it really does. So yeah, your Sims can check out the sky from this beautiful, huge lot that they have.
Can they
here.
actually use it?
Oh yeah, they can.
Wait, in The Sims 4, can you still have like aliens come down?
Oh yeah.
Ah, that's right.
You
I
remember
did this.
the
Yeah.
one time you played The
Yeah.
Sims? Your Sim got impregnated by an alien. Oh no, did it get impregnated? Oh no.
My
it was
Sims
just-
was male.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's just inaccurate.
What is it?
Yeah.
Have
it
you
is.
been abducted by aliens?
Yes.
And okay, right.
Okay. Good. So, this looks really cozy.
Thank you.
Okay. See, all right. The Sims is a cool game. Oh man, this is a horrible. Okay, so I really like the game. I think the nights in this game could look a lot better. I don't know if it's the color grading, but the nights always just are the whole. Man, I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of trying to dance around the topic here. I feel like the light sources during the nighttime, everything just looks kind of flat, and it doesn't look like super.
The nights are not very dark.
That
So,
too,
I
yeah,
guess the
and so
contrast is kind of lacking.
yeah, okay, see, yeah, that's what I mean by flat. It's just kind of there's not enough contrast, and the lights don't single out very well.
But I really like the graphics, and sometimes the lighting is really good. Like when you are inside a build.
That's right.
and-
Also, sometimes I'm really impressed. Like when you build the Carnier building with the
Yeah.
the glass panel on top and the shadow of it like look really accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah, just nighttime is not really my thing.
yeah. I hope they're still working on that for.
I
Sims
hope
5.
they're. Yeah, I was gonna say I hope they're working on Sims 5.
So I actually started with a bathroom
Oh my
in this
God.
build, which is something I rarely do. I think anyone rarely does, probably.
Hold on.
But I just had a vision
Hold
for
on.
this.
I'm just thinking about The Sims 5 now. This is crazy. Do you know how graphically cool it could look
Yeah,
with
it
all the new
could, but I-
technology? If they did like ray tracing,
Yeah, that'd be amazing. But I would think a lot
that
of
would be
people
absolutely fu- that would be sick.
play The Sims on their laptops. I think
Right,
that's
but they
kind
could
of the
make it
main-
like a big range because nowadays a lot of time ray tracing, for instance, which I think mainly is the future of.
Do
like,
you want to
computer graphics.
explain what ray tracing is?
Okay, so ray tracing, as opposed to like rasterization rendering, is basically where you take the light source and you actually track every light beam and see where it bounces. That's kind of already what you do when you render things, but in games, doing that real time obviously is very compute intensive. So now there are these new RTX graphic cards which have dedicated cores just to compute these light rays just bouncing, and it just looks a lot more
Realistic.
Actually, hold on. Let me rephrase that. It actually doesn't track the light coming from the light sources, I think, but rather from the camera. So it kind of is the opposite of real world. It kind of emits light from the camera and then see how that bounces. But it looks the exact same. So it looks a lot more like reality. And I think at least you can really tell the difference, and it makes an enormous difference. And I think that's going to be quite the future. But it's, again, right now quite computer intensive. So you need a really good computer to handle that. But you know, as things are getting...
But yeah, making it possible wouldn't hurt, right?
Right.
As long as you can turn it off in
It's
the
a
settings.
feature. Yeah, exactly. You could totally turn it off. A lot of games have that nowadays. And I mean, for the people who then have a good computer, especially, you know, the Sims YouTubers, a lot of people watch Sims videos. They have good computers. They could do it, and it would be more pleasurable for everyone.
Yeah,
because you would see it in the videos.
I already love taking screenshots in a Sim sometimes. When
Right.
lighting, like right here, check out this lighting coming in through the big bathroom window. I think that's like those long shadows are so beautiful, and that slight purple tint that it has because it's the evening light. I love
Right,
that.
and I always feel like that's especially important for like games when I actually really enjoy looking at good renders of things or very well imitated reality, because it like
It's
it
just-
always gives
yeah.
me the sense of wonder, like how is this not real?
Yeah.
And like looking at good renders or like a good animated movie, it gives me the same feeling. I feel like it doesn't even have to, you know, this is all like Max's made content. It's obviously not alpha. It's not super realistic, and it doesn't have to be. But lighting just does a big part of that, and I think that's really cool. And if that comes one day, that'd be really sick.
Yeah, also I think the textures and meshes that EA has or Maxis has made have really improved since
Right.
The Sims 4 came out.
And you know, oh sorry, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so I think they look a lot better and they don't look that cartoony anymore.
Right.
So
And
Yeah.
again with ray tracing, that's one other thing that really improves is just they can, you know, make textures really appear like the material that they are, because then you can start like giving them different reflective properties and basically tell the computer how much of the light beams should be you know, absorbed or reflected at which points, and like with bump maps and all that, and that could look even more impressive.
yeah,
So-
is ray tracing already a thing that's implemented in
Yeah.
a lot of games?
Yeah, Minecraft has ray tracing. Yeah, but again, it's quite new, and when the first ray tracing graphics cards came out, it wasn't really a thing back then. But now with like you have these bigger titles coming out like Cyberpunk, and that's about the size of it right now, which, you know, obviously is quite a mess. But the ray tracing is really good, and I think if we can figure out a way to make it less intensive and more accessible to more people, is gonna really take a step towards that direction that we're going, where, you know, computer graphics are gonna get better and better. And that's the thing with, like, when I have this discussion with people, a lot of people I hear, a lot of times I hear people say, do we even want to get the graphics to get so realistic that we can't even discern them from reality? Especially with, like, you know, there are violent games out there, and when I play Call of Duty or whatever, I don't want to feel like I'm killing an actual person, of course, but I don't think that's the point at all. It doesn't have to look realistic. It just has to look good, and ray
Yeah, I
tracing
mean,
looks
ray
way better.
tracing would also improve a game that has very comic-y graphics,
Minecraft,
right? It's just,
right?
yeah.
Minecraft. You're never gonna not be able to discern between Minecraft and the real world, but
It just looks nicer with nice
that
lighting.
doesn't mean we can't give it nice lighting. Exactly.
Okay, what you saw me doing with that waterfall just there might have been a little confusing. I was playtesting this build, trying to get my sim to get into this house, and she couldn't walk up the stairs, and it took me an hour to figure out what was wrong, and then another hour to fix it.
Oh my god.
Because she couldn't go there because that waterfall, which is a debug item from, oh my god, Island Living, is that footprint is incredibly huge. I think it's bigger than some lots.
What's
It's
a
probably like
footprint?
20 by 20. So the footprint is what the game thinks, how much space the item actually takes.
Right, yeah, gotcha.
And the waterfall's not that big, but the footprint is huge. So your sim thinks there's still a waterfall there, although it's not even close.
Right.
But it worked for the other waterfalls I had in the area because they were high enough up or down below, basically where your sim walks. So that didn't
Right.
block her path, but that
Right.
one did. So I changed it for the one that came with university. It looks a little different, but I think it actually looks a little more... It moves a little more, it's a little more wild. So I
Right.
think it kind of fit there at the bottom of that rocky hill that I've built. So yeah, that's just a little explanation as to what happened there.
Also, I am by no means an expert in ray tracing. I this all from what I understand what it is. I don't actually know.
No, don't you worry.
I also don't understand how you would my understanding of like programming and making computer games is very limited because I think it's very complex.
Well, you're still teaching me things, so I like being educated.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you right now is that I don't know if the things I'm teaching are correct. I just kind of hope they are. But yeah, if you're interested, look it up. It's really interesting. I would assume. Yeah. So it's coming together now.
Yeah, I do think so. I didn't have a very clear vision for this whole living area. I mean, this living room kind of living area, yes, but there's another kind of living area there where the kitchen is with a little dining place. And
How have we not talked about you using the steering wheel?
why would we?
What's up with that?
It's just a wheel.
I think it looks really fun.
Yeah,
but
I thought it wouldn't work at all in the beginning, but I think it just, I don't know, it has the right feeling and it kind of makes sense. It's just the structure for the
because
wheel.
it's also like a maritime item and it's kind of related to water.
Yeah,
so.
I don't recognize it as a steering wheel anymore looking at it like this,
Right.
with all my little
'Cause
wood
you're not a
pieces.
pirate like I am.
With all the wood pieces in there and like
Right.
the whole context just
Right.
makes it not be a steering wheel. Yeah, so I wanted to do this living room
There you go.
with these new Bellini sofas, like desperately. I love them. They're amazing. I
Wait,
don't
are
know.
you talking about the CC?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I absolutely went crazy when I saw that they did that. Amazing, breathtaking. So I knew I wanted to do it like this and then have them look out at the wheel, as I said before. And then I don't know if you've checked out that living room set yet, but that what you see over there over the fireplace is actually a TV. So it's the Samsung Frame TV.
Did they actually call it that? That's
Yes.
really funny. I like that.
So I hope you're getting where that comes from. So
Is
yeah,
it really?
yeah, it is. So
that's
it's
kinda cool.
artwork as long as it's turned off, and when you turn it on, it's a TV, so your Sims can
Can it be different
watch TV.
artwork?
Yes,
That's cool.
they have a few swatches of different artwork. So yeah, I thought this was really nice because, like, sitting on that couch, I wouldn't want to take away from the view of the mill wheel.
The mill wheel?
What?
The water wheel? Yeah.
By having like this black boxy TV there, so I thought this was really
You know
fitting.
what I always think is funny about The Sims? It's like there is no rules as to this. Okay, basically, if you were to like look at a real water mill, of course, this wheel is incredibly heavy. You would have to have like an axle actually go through the main part of the house to hold, like, the whole structural integrity of the whole house has to be built around this wheel.
I mean, I think the main problem is that you can't make walls thicker.
Right.
I think that's it,
Yeah.
because I don't know if I left this in actually, or if you saw this in the beginning, but before this I had that whole wall be glass.
And the wheel
And
was just
the
on
wheel
the
was
glass.
attached to the
Yeah,
glass.
that doesn't work.
But yeah, I changed it to this brick kind of thing because I thought
Especially,
that
you
made
know,
more
it
sense.
gets even more heavier when it's like wet. And
Is that amount?
yeah, I think it makes a huge difference. Look, I even like old wood soaks up a lot of water, I think.
Yeah.
I think it gets really heavy. And then with spinning, you have like angular momentum, and
Yeah, I mean, this one is not spinning. And
Right,
they have
not
renovated
anymore.
this,
but they didn't. You know, the layout is still the same, right? It's still the same house.
yeah, I guess so.
Or did they just take the wheel
No, I
off,
mean, they made
rebuild
a-
the whole house, and reattach the wheel?
They might have done like some changes to, I don't know, I don't know things. You ask me these things, I don't know anything.
Like there's some sort of real backstory to
Yeah.
this.
So I'm building the teenager's bathroom. So I thought I built this for a lesbian couple and a teenage daughter. I don't know why I can't stop myself from making my Sims, or like the Sims I make up to live in these builds. I can stop myself from making them lesbian. I just want women to have nice things.
Okay. And why do they have to be lesbian women?
I just
By
I just
making
want
them
them to be
lesbian,
happy
then
and have
you're
them
also
nice
saying that you
houses.
don't want the men to have nice things.
I just want them to have this nice house. I don't know. So, but yeah, I all my Sims are women
You
loving
just
women.
lost half your audience just with that statement. There
Okay,
you
you've
go.
been
Me too, by the
funny.
way.
So that's what I thought, and this is the teenager's bedroom, and it has this attached bathroom, which I really like this bathroom. I mean, those views. Oh my god, don't get me started.
I'm not.
But I thought this was like kind of cute, and then I thought she liked to paint, so she has this kind of mural wall that I'm gonna put in, and an easel, and a desk, as you would probably need as a teenager. So hey, if you want to make a different story for who lives in here, because I'm not very
Yeah,
creative
it's a gay
regarding
couple
that.
of men with a son, teenager. Because I want men to have nice things.
That's fine.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question about CC. So, do they put prices on the items?
Yeah. I mean, by the way, we keep talking about these very basic sim like things. Like, how does this work?
I've actually gotten positive feedback on that because a lot of people don't know these things. And by a lot of people, I mean one friend of mine who has watched this and told me that she also didn't know how these things worked, and she was very
Okay.
grateful that I was the stupid one asking all these questions.
By the way, maybe this is a good time to tell you that we are really excited about feedback, and we've gotten some really nice feedback, which we are very
We're
grateful
really excited
for.
about nice feedback.
And we're very excited about any kind of constructive
Sure, yeah.
feedback. And there's been some very nice input from you guys, so thank you for that, and keep it coming. So yeah,
What
items.
is that?
That's another frame. Frame TV.
No, not that.
The ones around it, that's
Yeah.
art.
Why does it only have...
It's a dipped frame. It also came with the living room. I love this. That was kind of a trend, I think, around, I don't know, last summer. I think you saw a lot of that kind of thing. I really
These
enjoy
are real
this.
paintings, right? That's the girl with the earring. No, that's not what she's called. With the
Pearl
pearl
earring.
earring. Yeah.
Yes, but it's the Sim version. So this,
Right, so it's
you
the-
can paint classical paintings in the Sims, and that's one of them.
Right.
So
okay.
it's kind of stylized. a
Right.
little. So yeah, items do have prices.
Even
well-
like custom content items.
Yes, I think.
So do
I
they
mean,
come
most
up with
of them.
them?
What?
Do they just come up with them?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of look for what other items cost, and then you put in whatever you
Right,
think how
sure.
much more this should be worth or less. And the Sims 4, like actual in-game prices are crazy. I don't know what simoleons are.
Crazy
Like they
low,
don't.
right?
No, sometimes crazy high. Things
Okay.
don't make sense.
Okay.
Like that currency, simoleons, doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. Maybe it's non-linear.
I think it might be
The
actually.
more you have, the less. No, that's not how it
Oh,
works.
also, this is a nice double shower for the parents, by the way. That's a cool thing, isn't it? Imagine having a double shower.
What is this fishing for compliments over here?
Hey! So yeah, a lot of things are, I'd say, I mean, if it was dollars, it would be very expensive. But then also, I think
But then
the way
again,
you-
like this house was like what, 400,000? That's not expensive. That's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, because there's no such thing as... You only pay for the items, not like the context.
Right.
You know, a lot is always gonna cost,
But
like...
still, isn't that still really cheap? For like a large,
I guess so.
completely refurnished and refurbished home.
Yes, but then as I said, it's not in dollars. It's in
With like
simoleons.
6 Simpson frames.
I mean, I keep saying this, but I don't know how simoleons work. They don't make
Yeah.
sense to me, so I guess nothing about those really
Okay.
makes sense. Yeah, so we've moved on to the parents' bathroom. I know a lot of people like to cut out their bathrooms. I said this before. I'm gonna say it again probably. I really like bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
I think a luxurious bathroom is just something so...
You mean how like Trump has a golden
intimate?
toilet?
Does he?
Didn't he? Wasn't that like the whole controversy about him having like an actual
There
golden
were
toilet?
honestly too many controversies to keep track of.
Right. I think he did.
Nice,
I thought it was kind of funny.
guess. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about though.
Okay.
I just love a good bath. Like a bathtub and it's in front of a window. Oh my god. Just oh my god, you know?
I don't, but I guess.
Yeah, so that's why I like to leave my bathrooms in. Just wanted to let you know.
We have vastly different interests, you and I.
Okay, what would you say is the most interesting room in a house?
It really depends on the house. Can I think of any room, or is it like a room that you have to find in like every normal home?
I mean, were you gonna say like a bowling alley if a house has one? Because then it's interesting.
Yeah. No, okay. So I think the most like aesthetically pleasing room, for me, is like the kitchen.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say that.
Because if you have like an amazing looking kitchen, you're gonna cook way more, and I really like food.
Mm-hmm.
And I think food can be very aesthetic, and making food as well. And like if you have like good looking utensils and just an overall cozy kitchen, that's really cool.
Okay,
But then
I get
again,
that.
like bowling alley also works for me. And if you have like a music room, that's awesome. Like they had this grand piano, which was really ugly, by the way. I hate it.
Okay, calm yourself down.
No, okay, no, I don't like the item in The Sims. I don't like that white grand piano. I don't think it looks good.
Okay. Do you like the back one?
There's a yes, I like that better. I'm not a sucker for white pianos.
Yeah, I know.
There's
It's kind of tacky.
It is really tacky. It looks like you're Elvis Presley, which you're
Yeah,
not.
I get
Unless
it.
you're Elvis
I
Presley, in which
think-
case, if you're watching this, man, that's dope.
I think those should really become like more trendy again. I think it was trendy probably around
White pianos?
Elvis's time.
I would assume.
But I like how they're not like just a big black thing that's blocking your view kind of.
No, I don't agree. It is too.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, I just don't like the way it looks, and I don't mean that in the context of right now. It displeases me. The way it
Okay.
looks.
Okay.
I'm very passionate about this.
Yeah, I
as you
can
tell.
tell. Well,
I don't like white instruments in general. I think, like also like a white guitar. No, man.
Yeah, it just always looks a little. I mean,
No
especially if
offense
it's
to anyone
shiny.
who has like white instruments. That's cool. You do you. You shouldn't care what I think. But what I think is that you have an ugly instrument.
Okay, these are some weird talks we're
Yeah,
having.
no, I'm sorry. I wish I had a grand piano. But I think
But a black one.
yes.
A wood one.
Right.
I
That
don't
works
like
too.
shiny black instruments either.
No, like my
I just don't
piano
like- yeah.
is not black. It's like a kind of normal wood, which I'm fine with.
A normal wood. You're
Wood-
funny.
Look again. Okay, it is.
It's a dark wood.
Okay, it's dark wood, whatever. But like looking at, I also don't like, you know how some pianos are like shiny black. I'm also not a fan of that.
Yeah.
A piano for me is not like a Yeah, I don't really like anything in like shiny black, to be honest. There's a lot of things I don't like. I'm noticing this now. It's like a therapy session for me. Dude, imagine Ming sitting out there and you're just looking at that wheel. That's kind of
Right? I thought it would have been so fun to maybe, like, when this teenager was a child, I'm not
To
sure
climb around on the wheel?
anyone could have stopped me from climbing up on this thing.
cool. No, absolutely.
And then there's also water right beneath it, so you probably wouldn't even hurt yourself if you fell
Unless
off.
you fell into the stone, which it would really hurt.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say that has never happened.
Wait, hold on. So is the wheel blocked? Or is it just no water flowing anymore? Because then
You
the wheel
can
could
imagine
still
that.
spin.
Make
which
up
would
whatever you want.
Be even more fun.
Yeah. Oh my god, you'd run on top of it as
It's
a
like
child,
a giant,
like a
giant,
hamster.
wheel. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Also really dangerous probably,
Yeah, also not very practical or doable.
but fun.
Yeah.
So you tell me, who do you think lives here? Because
A lesbian couple with a teenager.
that's nice, but who are these people? Because I'm gonna put in a tiny little office kind of space, but it's, I mean, yeah, I guess it's okay for an office, and I guess they have a lot of instruments. Like they have this guitar, and they have this.
They also have a
huge
telescope,
piano.
right? So they're obviously at least somewhat interested either in looking like they're scientists or like science.
Or this telescope has just been there before, and I thought it was a cool thing.
Doesn't
I think
it-
rich
wait, is
people
the- is
often
the-
just buy things because they're like kind of.
Do you
cool.
think they're rich people?
Have you looked at this estate?
Okay.
No, maybe not. Like not crazy rich.
But like a little rich. A little
Rich
richer.
enough to live in this. I mean, come
Right.
on.
So this is obviously very extravagant. So you have all these water features outside. There's a lot of landscaping going on. I feel like more landscaping than you usually see in real life.
But natural landscaping. It's
Right.
not manicured
Right.
landscaping.
I don't know where it's going with that, but yeah, they're probably rich. Let's be real. I feel like it also has to be someone who's either really into a specific aesthetic or like a sucker for historic buildings.
I mean, if you're a sucker for historic buildings, you would probably leave more of the
That's also
structure intact the way it
Yeah.
was.
No, so it's a lesbian couple who really likes an aesthetic building. They're really into living that nice life. They are partly interested in science and music. Their credit score is very high. Their bank statements actually came in last Tuesday. Yeah.
Oh, also, I'm putting in a flower binding table in a second in this like hallway space. And so I guess someone in this house really likes
Listen,
to arrange flowers.
I think there should be 2 children here, or 2 teenagers, because
Where do they say? Wait, just on their own?
no, I'm just thinking if you were to grow up here as children, you would have to be 2 children because it's so large and you can play like.
But there's no second room.
Well, but you want to have fun on the wheel.
Oh,
and
you're
not
just
gonna have fun
drawing my
alone.
visions.
No, but if you're gonna climb on the wheel, you're gonna do it with a friend.
Yeah, I mean, you can have friends over. I'm an only child. I just try to relate.
No. That's sad.
Okay, we're leaving you with the house tour. Thank you so much for watching,
This was
and
fun.
see you next
I hope
time.
you learned something.
Love you, bye.
Goodbye.